After 7 seasons in Turin, 114 goals and 5 Serie A titles, Paulo Dybala will leave Juventus at the end of this season, out of contract and available for free. Let's find out today if Arsenal have made contact. What's the latest on Gabriel Jesus? How close is Thomas Partey to returning? And how will the Gunners line up versus West Ham at the weekend? Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Bass14, welcome back to your boys channel. A massive shout out to today's sponsor in Pouch. Make sure to smash a like if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel if you're new, as we're getting closer and closer day by day to 90,000 subscribers. But let's get into the Arsenal news and starting off with Paulo Dybala. Having failed to agree a brand new contract with Juventus, Paulo Dybala is going to be available for a free transfer at the end of the season. So when you have the player, the caliber of Dybala, the experience of Dybala, available for the price of absolutely nothing, of course a lot of the top big European clubs are going to come round sniff, and there's where enters our very own gargantuan institution in Arsenal Football Club. As according to the reliable James Ollie, Arsenal are among 4 Premier League clubs that have made contact with Paulo Dybala's representatives over a potential free transfer this summer. However, there are no talks advanced between any club and Paulo Dybala's representatives as things stand. So Arsenal have made contact with the people of Paulo Dybala, but first things first, you have to ask yourself the question, is this a financially doable transfer? The price tag might be nothing, but when you sign players on frees, they often ask for massive wages. But having let go of Mikel Arteta and Lacazette leaving in the summer, Arsenal have freed up a massive amount of wages. So in terms of Dybala, Arsenal are now able to give a player of his caliber the high wages that he might require. And what Arsenal would be getting in Dybala is a player that excels technically, a very versatile attacker that is capable of playing out wide and also down the middle. If Mikel Arteta wants a player that is secure in that final third, Paulo Dybala is your guy, as he ranks in the top 3% of forwards across all of Europe when it comes to pass completion, and an average of 4.45 shot creating actions per 90 is also in the top 5% as well. This year he's got 9 goals and 5 assists in the Serie A, but the last time that he scored 20 league goals was back in 2018. So Dybala isn't really an out and out goal scoring centre forward, but creativity wise, pass completion wise, and just that false 9 type of profile, that's where Dybala thrives. But according to the Mail, Arsenal are leading the race to sign Paulo Dybala on a free transfer and Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City. The first official bid from Arsenal to City is around £35 million, which should be accepted. Now this is where it gets a bit confusing, because even though Arsenal can afford Dybala, do I see Arsenal signing Dybala and Gabriel Jesus in the same transfer window on top of a more physical type of centre forward? The answer is quite obviously no. But at 28 years of age, peak of his powers, a vast amount of Champions League experience, talk to me down below in the comments about Paulo Dybala, and on a free transfer, do you think Arsenal should be signing him? A massive shout out to today's sponsor in Pouch for making this video possible. But Babs, what is Pouch? Pouch is a free desktop browser extension that automatically finds and applies the best discount codes when you're shopping online. Let's just check this out for a second. I was shopping for a brand new Arsenal kit on the Adidas website, and as I got to checkout, Pouch automatically popped up. It found me a discount code, applied it, saving me a grand total of £30, a full 30% off. Now that is things you absolutely love to see. And one of the best things about Pouch is that it works on over 3,000 UK sites, such as Adidas, Nike and Foot Locker. And even if there are no live codes available at the time that you're shopping, you can still earn points from participating retailers, and that can then be redeemed for gift cards. And Pouch only takes a couple of clicks to install, making sure that you pin it to your browser. And the fact that it's available for completely free, this is a no-brainer and there is no reason not to install it. So make sure to get yourselves Pouch right now by clicking the link on the top of this video description. Not only are you doing your boy a favour, but you're also doing yourself a favour, because who doesn't want to save a bit of money? But talking about Gabriel Jesus, according to David Ornstein, he says that nothing is advanced at this point in time in terms of club to club, but I think it's gone quite far in terms of the conversations between Edu and Jesus' camp. It looks like the player is reciprocating Arsenal's interest and he wants to come to the Emirates Stadium. And even according to Fabrizio Romano, there are no conversations taking place between Man City and Gabriel Jesus' representatives regarding a contract renewal at this point. But what exactly would he offer? The first thing is the perfect physical profile. Jesus is a very hard-working centre forward, and with that type of athlete in the Arsenal attack, it allows Arsenal to press far more often. It's something that Arsenal simply cannot do with the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang or even Alexandre Lacazette. On top of that, Jesus is also a fantastic mover in the box. He's always on the move and he has a sense of a desire to find space, to sniff a chance, and that is exactly why he has scored so many tap-ins over his time in Manchester. But he also gives Arsenal elite versatility. As this graphic shows here, left wing, right wing, centre forward, Jesus always finds a way to impact the game. It gives Arsenal almost a Swiss Army knife, a player that is capable of playing in other positions and making sure the Arsenal first team's quality does not drop. All of that for the price tag of £30 million. The more that I think about it, the more I just say this is a no-brainer for Arsenal Football Club. According to Tutto Mercato in Italy, representatives from Arsenal were in the stands to watch Tammy Abraham against Leicester on Thursday night. Even though Abraham didn't score a goal, I think what he showed again is a player that is oozing confidence. The flicks, the tricks, the creativity, the fact that Arsenal were actively trying to sign him in the last transfer window, it indicates that Mikel Arteta is 100% a fan. And even prior to the game, when Tammy was asked about the rumours linking him to Arsenal, he replied saying that he's very relaxed, but also gave a little bit of a smile. I'm sure in the future Tammy wants to return to the Premier League, and he's also a massive fan of Arsenal Football Club. But when you look at the price tag, as according to Football London, Arsenal have been told they will have to pay around €80 million to sign Roma striker Tammy Abraham. And ultimately, in the market where the likes of Darwin Núñez and Victor Osimhen are available for a similar price tag, what do you guys make of Tammy Abraham for €80 million? According to Dean Jones, he says, I think Arsenal definitely have a possibility of signing Richarlison. They know that he can leave Everton and is likely to leave Everton in this summer, and they've been offered the chance to sign him. The source itself is pretty hit and miss, but Richarlison to Arsenal Football Club, well, I'm not sure about this. Now, what he would give Arsenal again is a player with Premier League experience, with 7 goals in the league this season and 13 being his personal best. He's a very versatile attacker and is able to play in quite a few positions. He's a player entering the peak of his powers, and make no mistake, if Everton go down, this is definitely going to be a possibility. He's going to be available for a pretty cheap price tag, so with that being the case, alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin, what do you guys make of the Brazilian international and Richarlison? And if Arsenal were given the opportunity, would you take him at the Emirates Stadium? Moving on to West Ham United versus Arsenal. This game is massive and gargantuan. You can take that off the Babs 14 bingo, but yes, this is a massive game. It is a top 4 rival away at their ground. They've just played a massive game in the Europa League, losing 2-1 to Eintracht Frankfurt. And looking into West Ham's recent form, they've only won 1 of their last 5 games. In comparison, Arsenal lost 3 games in a row, but have bounced back with wins against Chelsea and Manchester United. Looking at West Ham's form there, I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans are going, yes, we can win this game. But as the games against Brighton and against Southampton have shown, form goes out of the window, and if Arsenal take these games for granted, teams will punish us. Saying that though, having played a massive draining game midweek and currently having a centre-back crisis, going into this game they will have no Craig Dawson via suspension. Ogbonna is out with the ACL injury, and likewise Diop. And with Kurt Zouma just returning from an injury, he started in the midweek, but he was a massive doubt going into that. With the second leg of the Europa League semi-final also coming up, is David Moyes going to risk it? Whereas in terms of Arsenal, Mikel Arteta confirms that Bukayo Saka should be fine. And according to reports, Benjamin White trained yesterday as normal, even though he wasn't spotted in training a few days ago. But when asked on Thomas Partey, Mikel Arteta says he's progressing, but he had a significant injury, so we don't expect him to make progress quickly enough to see him again this season. Hopefully I am wrong. Essentially, Mikel Arteta rules out Thomas Partey for the rest of the season, but then gives Arsenal fans this little bit of hope, saying hopefully I'm wrong. But apart from that, Arsenal have a fully fit squad, so how exactly is Mikel Arteta going to line up? Well, I think it will be a 4-2-3-1 formation with Aaron Ramsdale in goal, a back four of Takehiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel and Nuno Tavares, Xhaka, Elneny in midfield, and a trio of Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka behind a striker in Eddie Nketiah. Ultimately, just one change from the game against Man United, and that is the upgrade on the right hand side and the potential return to the starting lineup for Takehiro Tomiyasu. And as Arteta says on Tomiyasu's ability to play on his weaker foot, when we followed the player, it is one of the things that I came across, and it gives you a lot of solutions. He can use both feet. He can play right centre back, left centre back and left back. That gives you enormous variability. The fact that Tomiyasu is so good on both feet is also almost a secret weapon in the Arsenal team when it comes to playing out of the press. And in that game against Man United, that was our biggest issue, the build-up phase. We were so insecure, and every time United pressed us, they were causing Arsenal issues. But when you throw back Tomiyasu into the first team and have his left foot, right foot ability, it gives Arsenal a different dimension out to the back. And in terms of Arsenal playing at West Ham, we've only lost 1 of our last 5 Premier League games that have been played at the London Stadium. Winning 2, drawing 2 and losing 1. You could say that Arsenal have decent form there, but this is again is a top 4 rival. They've beaten the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool at their ground. In this game, the wingers are going to be vitally important, whether it's Saka and Smith Rowe or even Gabriel Martinelli. West Ham's fullbacks like to bomb forwards, and for Arsenal that's space to exploit. It's a game that Arsenal can't take for granted, and it's an opportunity once again to knock out yet another top 4 rival. Last week it was Man United and we knocked them out. If Arsenal can go to West Ham and make it 3 wins in a row, if Arsenal can make it 9 9 points out of 9 out of Chelsea, United and West Ham. In some way at least, eradicates the losses that we had against Brighton, Crystal Palace and Southampton. But with this being the last game of the weekend after Spurs play, I personally see Spurs beating Leicester at home, so it gives Arsenal a different bit of pressure. But as per, what are your own thoughts going into this game? West Ham United at their ground, do you think Arsenal can make it 9 points out of 9? Let me know down below in the comments what are your matchday predictions. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with 3 Arsenal loanees that were playing in a European semi-final yesterday, as William Saliba and Matteo Guendouzi both started for Marseille away to Feyenoord in the Europa Conference League semi-final first leg against Reiss Nelson's Feyenoord, and in this game it was Nelson's Feyenoord that came out on top 3-2. Wolves manager Bruno Lage, speaking on Arsenal and Man United potential targets Ruben Neves, says, "We need to be ready for everything. A player like Ruben Neves has a value of £100 million. Anything can happen." Do I think Ruben Neves is a decent player? Yes, I do. And would I take him at Arsenal? Potentially, but for £100 million, no, I am good. I can see what he could offer Arsenal in terms of versatility, number 6, number 8. He's got Premier League experience and he's entering the peak of his powers. But when spending that sort of money, Arsenal may as well sign someone else like maybe Jude Bellingham. According to Sport, negotiations have begun to make Bellerin's move to Real Betis permanent, and Arsenal have asked for €10 million. He might not be the player he once used to be, but surely Arsenal and Edu Gaspar can negotiate a better price tag than what would be £7 to £8 million. But talking about Arsenal right backs, what about Cedric Suarez? Well, Charles Watt says that talks of interest from Newcastle and a bid from Porto have been described as speculation by those close to him. His focus is on Arsenal and these last 5 games. He wants to stay. He still has 2 years left on his deal, which expires in 2024. So Cedric wants to stay at Arsenal, but I don't see that being the case. First things first, we have Takahiro Tomiyasu, who's far better. You could even argue players like Brook Norton Cuffy in the future have far better potential, but on top of that, a lot of reliable reporters have already confirmed that Arsenal want to sign a brand new right back. The only reason why that's the case in the first place is because Mikel Arteta understands that Cedric isn't that guy going into the future. He's a decent little player on his day, but he's not the quality required on a consistent basis if Arsenal want to be a top European club. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed as always, and if you have, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, follow your boy on the social medias, and don't forget to download Pouch, the first link in the video description. But that is all of the latest Arsenal news going into the massive, gargantuan must-win game against West Ham at the weekend. It's the last game of the weekend and a chance for Arsenal to make it 3 wins on the bounce, 9 points in a row, and a massive push towards the Champions League places. Is it going to happen? We are going to have to wait and see. Until then, take care of yourselves and in a bit.